Can you tell me what your name is?
Frank Smith.
And how many years have you been here at CINEKYD?
About 2.5 years.
And do you do any acting, or are you on any other crews here at CINEKYD?
Yes, I'd like to act. Right now I'm in Uncle Flywheel on cable TV. I play the part of Stuart. He's between a boy and an elf. And he gets into a lot of trouble. But he's a lovable kid. I might want to be an actor. I was thinking about it, but I don't know yet.
Good evening. You've just met the stars, the technicians, the graphic artists, the young producers of this series. So sit back and relax. For the next half hour, you're going to find this spectacular television programming because this is CINEKYD Theater.
On a behind-the-scenes tour of CINEKYD on a typical Saturday morning as we look in on our youngest television producers, the 7 to 11-year-old boys and girls of the Tyro program.
This is a very good workshop as it was before. Now, you see the microphone? Yeah. Pull out a little bit. Right. Turn around. Yeah. Wait, this is where I guess. Now let's see. Make it funny face with the camera. Wait. Watch out, camera 3, you guys. Watch out, camera. I always do it. Stop falling. Oh, God.
Let's get her out of the court, thank you. All right, you thread this up yet, Randy?
No.
Okay, Randy threads it up, and then we're going to go outside and do something in the studio.
All right. First thing we're going to do is teach you how to thread the videotape. Does anybody know how?
I do. I think I'm using Eric.
All right, let's see. Eric, come on.
Come on, thread it.
No. Around that one and behind this one. Okay, keep going. Doing good. Take your time. That's it, around that one. Perfect. This around, this hole right here is to help you. Take your tape and pull it like that. Stick your finger there and turn around.
Punch up too for a minute. I want to teach you that.
Okay, make sure it caught. Okay, you take this reel. Brian. Stick your finger here. That will help you.
No one here named James.
All right? Okay, we're going to switch it up.
Now you go stand in front. Okay, now. picture for it. I don't want to. It's so yeah. Okay, now, Spence, I'll show you the picture. Yeah. This is the mid shot. And where's balls? Shut up. Okay, this is called. Maybe this is helpful. This is what is this? What? The picture. No, I mean, what is the shot? Mid shot. Okay. Let me show you how to get this. How did you know? How was I supposed to know I knew? I'm smart.
We're going to go through each performance 2 times. The first time is for the purposes of the group to rehearse and for the camera people to get used to the shot. Those who are the rest of you, they've got to be a good audience. Is that it? And cut. Okay, very good. All right, nice job. All right, group number 2, that was you, right? You people are going to be on the camera, so stand over here for a moment. Group number 3 is out on the set now. Group 3 on the set. Group 1, you have a seat for a while. All right, let's see. Job the first. I think you did a nice job. Can we hear this group here?
How the scenes look at CINEKYD. Here's our tour guide, Dave Trachtenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. I'm David Trachtenberg on CINEKYD Theater, and this week we're going to take a look at the Graphics Miniatures crew. In back of me is a poster that was done by this crew, George Jacoumis. It's a poster for Whiplash, the first sound film that CINEKYD made. CINEKYD is not just a camera and acting. CINEKYD also has other things like the Graphics Miniatures crew, which does things like Walt Disney animation, claymation, and posters and miniatures. We're going to take a walk upstairs and talk to some of the people who are doing their individual projects for CINEKYD. Next to me now is Mike Wilson, who's probably one of the most experienced graphic artists at CINEKYD right now. He got involved with CINEKYD probably from about the very beginning. What are some changes you've seen in graphics from the beginning until now?
Well, when we first started out here, we would only do graphics for movies, the end credits. And then we progressed to making signs for movie night. And then we started doing things for companies. We make them graphs and stuff.
What do you specialize in? Like certain people do houses. What do you do?
Paint. I paint signs here. That's, I paint signs. I paint logos and stuff like that.
You mentioned you do logos, and I saw downstairs for movie nights you can see the big logo on the front wall. I think that's great. How did you do that?
I did that with a prototype. And I used the OPEG projector to blow it up on the wall. And I just painted over it.
Thanks, Mike. Now let's move on. This is George Jacoumis, and he's a graphics miniatures too. He works on those projects. How long have you been with CINEKYD, George?
About 2.5 years.
Mike said that he specialized in, in signs and things like that. As a graphic miniature artist, what do you specialize in?
Well, I do like to paint, but it's a little different. I like to airbrush. It's kind of a different kind of technique. It's more like a spraying paint. It's actually what it's.
What are you designing?
Well, I have right here a backdrop for Tilford Mansion, and what I did was I had to make a drawing sketch of what I was doing first and make stencils. And then what I did is place the stencils on a piece of plexiglass, which this is right here. Sprayed over the top black, and then from the stencils I could put the colors in.
How does the airbrush work?
Well, what it is it's like a small air gun. And there's a jar, it takes paint, and the air comes into a nozzle and picks up the paint and sprays it out, and I can control the airflow and paint from the back. It's a little tricky. It takes a while to get used to, but just started with it, and I'm finding it really a lot of fun.
Thanks, George. This is the miniatures area, and Beverly Schiller and Liam White are two of the miniature artists, and they're working on some houses for the film we just shot last summer, Gargantua. Beverly, what is the technique for making a miniature?
Well, we take this foam board, and after we take measurements from a picture on a house, we cut out from graph paper from the board, and we glue it together and pin it, and after it's dry, we put board, brick, or paint it, or whatever you want to do, and after that's dry, roof it.
And it's all to scale?
Mm-hmm. After you do the house, you put it on a board and you make a background. The camera will be moving Gargantua, and he'll step on it, or whatever.
Liam, what are you doing?
Well, I'm working on my second house, and this is the front door for it.
Are these the projects that you've worked on before?
Yes, this is the one I'm working on now.
It's neat. And these are all going to be used for Gargantua.
Yes.
Thanks, Liam. Thanks, Dad. This is Rita Augustine, and she's into claymation, which is the new area of the graphics area. Rita, what is claymation?
Well, claymation is when you take clay and you make it look movable like it's an actual character, and it's actually a form of animation.
How did you get interested in claymation?
Well, last August, when I was first in CINEKYD, I watched a group do claymation, and it really got me interested, and I wanted to try it on my own.
What's the preparation involved?
Well, the first step is to draw a storyboard, and I chose to use pencil, and you have to draw a picture of all the different shots you want to take of your clay things. And then the second step is to make the clay shape, but this is really just my rough copy. I'd have to do it in colored clay from actually filming it.
And then you'd animate it to make it look
yes.
like it's... Thanks, Rita. Good luck with your project. This is Mark Miller, and he's another graphic artist. Mark, this looks to me like just a bunch of sticks and branches. I know there's a real purpose for it, but what is it for?
This is for landscaping for the miniature houses that you've already seen. These sticks and everything, when it'll look like trees, and like these things here will look like old big trees, like, and these will look like bushes and stuff when you get up close, when it's around the houses and everything.
Thanks, Mark. And this is landscaping. This is Joe McMahon. He's one of the new members of the graphics crew. Joe, how'd you get interested in CINEKYD?
I heard about it last year, and I came for one night, but I just didn't have the time. And this year, I got interested in the graphics department.
How long have you been coming to CINEKYD now?
I've been coming for about 2 months.
And you like it, huh?
Yeah.
What are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm working on the cabin for Uncle Flywheel's workshop, and it's taken all the time since I've come.
Joe, how do you do the logs on the house that you're making?
To get the log effect, you take these round toothpicks and you cut both the pointed ends off with a tool like this, and then you insert them on the house, and you cut the toothpicks smaller where you take out the windows and the doors.
Joe, I know I wouldn't have the patience to do something like that. And I was also wondering, how long did it take you to make that?
It took me about 1.5 months to do the log effect, and about a half a month to do the shingles. And on the shingles, you have to cut every little triangular piece out and then lay them on and glue them on, and that takes a lot of time as well.
Thank you, Joe. And now we're going to take a look over Lynn McDonald's shoulder, and she's working on a house that she's making for Gargantua. Lynn McDonald is working on one of the projects for the film Gargantua. She's making a miniature house, like most of the miniatures crew is doing, and designing the roof and the sides. She's making everything to scale so it looks perfect when we make the final product. She has to lay out her project on a piece of graph paper, then cut the foam to size, then take wood and make siding and window panes, and she cut out shingles and other things to add to the house. And when she's finished, they'll animate the project and animate it with a bear, and then we'll have Gargantua. I'd like to thank the people who, the graphics and miniatures crew who came in for this special taping session. It's hard to get everybody here at one time to do a session. And I'd also like to thank you for watching our program. Now back to you, Mr. Clark.
Thanks, Dave, and members of our graphics and animation department for providing us with a look behind the scenes at how some of the special effects in CINEKYD production are created. And now it's time for one of the most popular members of CINEKYD Theater to join us again. Kindly, irascible, multi-talented, dear old Uncle Flywheel. This week in his workshop, he, Stuart, and his tiny helpers, well, suppose instead of telling you, I let them surprise you. So join me now as we venture once again to Uncle Flywheel's workshop.
We're gonna get this place sparkling clean. Stuart, why don't you help us out?
I'm reading.
It's getting clean already. You should do this every week. Yep. Where will Uncle Flywheel be surprised? It looks better than it did yesterday. We're working hard on it.
Yeah. How's it going, Jimbo?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. You working hard?
Pretty hard. Pretty hard. What are you doing, Stuart? What are you doing, Stuart? Now, Stuart, it's not very nice to tease somebody.
You stay out of this, Bruno.
Here comes Uncle Flywheel.
Hello, Stuart. Hi, tiny helpers.
Hi, Uncle Flywheel.
Hi, boys and girls.
What's that?
This is a videotape.
What are we going to do with it?
Well, this is a section of a production that the boys and girls from CINEKYD did last year. It's called The Mystery of the Seven Keys. I'm going to thread it up on the tape machine. I want you to watch very carefully. But more importantly, I want you to listen and notice how the actor and actresses use their voices. Okay?
Okay.
Dear sister, what seems to be the problem?
Not so sure it's not the best thing for us to get out of here.
You might be willing to make a hasty retreat, but I'm not. And I'm certainly not willing to let you do so.
I don't know why I ever let you talk me into it.
Who talked you into it?
It was all your idea.
My idea. You certainly didn't seem too unwilling to accept the money now, did you?
But it was wrong.
Is it your conscience bothering you now?
How was that?
Pretty interesting.
What did you notice?
Well, it sounded like they had British accents.
Good observation. Now, sometimes part of being an actor is being able to use your voice to make yourself sound like you're from another country.
Like this, Uncle Flario? What country am I from?
Stuart, using your voice to make yourself sound like you're from another country and making fun of one of the tiny helpers are two completely different things.
Okay.
Now, what countries can an actor make himself sound like he's from?
France. Spain. Japan.
Germany.
France, Spain, Japan, and Germany. Of course, there are a lot more. And even within our own country, there are different accents or dialects. People from the South talk differently than people from the East or the Midwest. Now, we're going to watch another section. I want you to watch again and see how the actors use their voices this time.
To provide food and clothing for you children. Do you think we could have gotten this far on the state funds alone? Occasionally, Gladys and I have had to make certain business arrangements for you children.
Get to the point.
One of you is a traitor. One of you was seen walking down 221 B Baker Street.
And that person paid dearly.
Well, what did you notice about that one?
They sounded like they were very, very angry at each other. They were yelling and hollering.
Good. But they weren't really angry at each other. Another part of being an actor or an actress is being able to use your voice to convey emotions, like anger, or happiness, or sadness.
I wonder if I can make my voice sound happy. Maybe if I talk like this, or not like this.
We have one rule about teasing. It's only funny as long as both people can laugh. And I don't think Jimbo is laughing.
Okay.
Now, you don't like it when the tiny helpers tease you, do you?
Well,
Do you?
No.
I didn't think so.
I like Jimbo. I was just teasing him.
I know you like Jimbo, but sometimes teasing can hurt.
Okay.
So, we've learned two things. No, three things about how people can sound. The first is how an actor or an actress has to use their voice to make themselves sound like they're from another country. The second is how an actor or an actress uses their voice to convey emotion. And the third is about how people shouldn't tease people. And that fits in very well with our motto. Each one, reach one. Good night.
Bye.
And now, from happiness and mirth, we take you to that dark, dark house at the edge of town, on the top of a windy hill. In the weeks past, Jonathan and Bobby Telford have faced one crisis after another as they attempt to claim their fortune as rightful owners of Telford Mansion. It's time for the next chapter of The Ghost of Telford Mansion. Bobby. Come on, Bobby. Wake up. Bobby. 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 Come on, Bob. Wake up.
Bobby. It seems to me it's only a bump on the head.
Only a bump on the head? What is this, some kind of crazy house or something?
Jonathan, Mr. Cromwell's already called the doctor. He's on his way.
Thanks.
Johnny. Oh, my head.
Now that's a boy. Winston will get you some tea.
Tea? I don't want any tea. Johnny, let's get out of here.
We will, Bob.
Oh, no, don't worry. The doctor's coming.
Look, it's only a bump on the head.
And my doctor's real nice, and he even gives out lollipops. What? I'm not a little kid. I don't want any lollipops.
She's just trying to be nice. Now look, you get
I
some
know
rest.
she is, but I don't trust anybody else.
Okay, just get some rest. The doctor will be here soon to fix you all up. I'll stay here with you overnight.
I'll stay here, too. Where are we? I don't know. What are we gonna do? Try and get out of here. Can you get out? No, my ropes are tied too tight. Shh. I hear somebody coming. I'm scared.
All right, ladies, just down and relax. Make yourselves comfortable.
Now what?
Now look, Jonas, I was out checking my car, and I saw these two lovely young ladies out there. It's kind of cold and windy, so I brought them in.
Well, I'll never get the carpet fixed.
How can anybody be so consumed with this carpet when there are lights going on and off, people coming and going and disappearing? How can you be so preoccupied with this rug?
That's what I'm paid for.
Well, Mr. Cromwell. And what have we here?
Now look, Winston, I don't want to make a big deal out of this, but I was out checking my car, and I saw these two ladies out there. It's cold and windy, so I brought them in.
Yes. The rain is stopping, and the moon is coming out.
The moon?
Yes, it's going to be a lovely night after all. Cold, windy, and with a nice, bright, full moon.
I don't feel so good.
Now, what seems to be his problem?
Jonas has a little bit of trouble with the weather.
I don't suppose we could have a cup of tea.
Oh, are we staying?
Now look, Winston, I called the doctor, and I've called the Automobile Association. I'll be happy to escort these ladies back to town as soon as my car is fixed. In the meantime, could we have a cup of tea?
I suppose.
Don't worry, ladies. I have everything under control.
What is going on here?
Miss Parch, I don't mean to impose.
Get out of my house.
You don't understand, Miss Parch. This is a...
Said, get out of my house.
Please, Miss Parch.
Mr. Cromwell, you don't seem to understand. If you don't get out of my house, I won't be responsible for what happens. Oh, Mr. Cromwell.
He's been attacked by some sort of animal.
Told you so.
Next week, more of Telford Mansion. And more special surprises. It's that time again. And I'd like to thank you for being with us. Please join us at CINEKYD Theater next week, same time, same station. Until then, this is Bob Clark saying good night and God bless.